afternoon, everybody. First, I hope everybody can hear me, including all over the State House lawn. And if you're able to come closer, and feel free to engage, because part of what's important here is that we're connecting, facts, ideas, and law around one of the most fundamental problems that we could possibly imagine for the state. So, first I want to say how honored I am to be here today. I think that the people here are the best and most focused citizens that New Hampshire has. And we can clap for ourselves, but the reality is that what people here are focused on is the baseline at the heart of civilization. The New Road Project exists because the people who should be caring about these baseline civilization issues aren't and haven't been in a way that is satisfactory or that should satisfy any of us. And so the focus of what my remarks are going to be about today are about not being distracted and remaining focused. And first I want to say, for those of you who were here earlier, honestly, I can't imagine a more coherent, rational, and persuasive case for reform than the one that Anna made. It doesn't take a law degree. It doesn't take, a deep dive into our statutes at all to understand the case that she made, and the case is that we've been falling deeply, deeply down on the job in New Hampshire in ways that should deeply, deeply disturb all of us. The way I like to think about this problem is as follows. Imagine one day, God forbid, we turned on the TV set and we saw that a sinkhole had opened on 93. And that in the sinkhole, there were two buses, and the buses were filled with children going to school, elementary school. And imagine what would happen in response. Imagine the 24-hour news cycle. Imagine all the attention. Imagine all of the resources that would be called to the problem from the state, from the federal government. You could imagine Mike Pence coming here and not turning around, but coming all the way here and positioning himself, along with Governor Sununu and Jeff Myers, Commissioner of Health and Human Services, right next to the sinkhole, directing the fire departments from New York and Massachusetts and California, from other countries maybe, ICE, every possible resource toward going into that sinkhole and making sure the kids come out. It would be a national and international news story. It would draw the greatest attention, and heroes would come out of the event, the people who saved the kids. Why is it that the same level of response and attention isn't being paid to what we know is happening in New Hampshire? It's mind-boggling. We know that because reporters from New Hampshire Public Radio and the Union Leader and WMUR, from external audits hired by the state, from the United States Department of Health and Human Services last April, we know that New Hampshire is leaving thousands of cases behind. That right now, as we speak, there is a 2,000 plus child backlog right in the middle of the Department of Health and Human Services of kids where there are reports of abuse and neglect, and our state officials are not responding. Some percentage, as Anna said, of those kids are verified abuse and neglect cases. Imagine it's a low percentage. Imagine, say, out of 2,000 cases, there are 5% of those cases that are founded. That is 100 kids, 2 busloads of kids who are living in the sinkhole of abuse and neglect, and no one is doing 24-hour news coverage of it. No one is calling out the cavalry to make sure those kids are protected. We know where they're living. We know their addresses. We know the phone numbers of the people connected to them. We can get information about them, about their doctors, about their health care, about their social workers. There are state employees who know these kids and know everything about them, but they are allowing those kids to remain in the sinkhole. That's what this is about. And it's not a Democratic or Republican issue. It may be as a matter of fact. It shouldn't be as a matter of justice. There is no party that stands for the continued suffering of children. So what's the problem? And yet here we are on the State House lawn, feet away from where the governor goes to work every day, and he is not signing a budget that begins the process of saving those kids. And every second matters. Every second. We've been waiting a long time. We knew 2 years ago, from an audit the state solicited, that we didn't have enough people working on these cases. 2 years, 4 years, even. And through a first biennium, the budget did not address the recommendations of the external audit the state received